rescue for about 6 years now. What we do is we service anyone who is wanting any kind of counseling services. Our services are free. We do individual counseling, we do support groups. For anyone who has like a DCFS case that might need to take domestic violence counseling services, we have that there too. We work with DCFS as well. They send us referrals. We have different programs within family rescue. We have a housing program, we have a shelter, we have a scattered apartments program, a legal aid program, and then the community outreach, which means that we could go out into any type of groups, churches, schools, workplaces, and talk about domestic violence, the different types, warning signs, and just spread our services and our word so that people are able to know that there are services out there for them. And we are throughout the city. So if someone is in Uptown, we have an advocate nearby. Northwest side, west side, 10 South Kedzie, anywhere north. Our south location is on 88th and Stony Island. So we're definitely the ones that cover all the south and suburbs. Sorry.
Okay.
And so we are out here, and more than happy to come, help anyone who needs the help.
Okay. Nice to meet you. Aleida, go ahead. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so
Just
many of you know me already, but my name is Aleida Clincy, and I am a narcissistic abuse survivor and the founder of the B.O.S.S Network, which is a life coaching business to help women reclaim their lives after toxic relationships and help them fully step into their purpose. So about 5-6 years ago, I came out of an emotionally narcissistic abusive relationship with a pastor, and I realized that I had a lot of just trauma and inner wounds that I had to work through, and I had to really rediscover myself and find myself again. And so I really enjoyed helping women walk through that journey and that process of healing and becoming their best selves, and just kind of turning their trial and their pain into purpose. So yeah, that's what I do. My website is bestyou.net. That's where I can be found. Yeah.
I like your shirt.
Thank you.
What's your shirt say?
Silence breaker in domestic violence.
Yep, let's end the
Found
stigma.
on my website.
Let's not keep it taboo. Let's end the stigma. Yep.
Yes.
And Erica, I like your purple. Yep.
Thank you.
EV Awareness Month. Go ahead.
Hey everyone, for anyone who doesn't know me or we have not met yet, my name is Erica Avila, and the reason why I advocate for domestic violence is domestic violence for me, I was born into it. My mom experienced that from my father, and she left him very early on. So I was taught to be, aware with those type of toxic relationships and, never deal with it, but I also didn't understand the red flags. And that's because with my mom's experience, she came from abuse, not just from her husband, who was my father, but also from her mother, right? She was physically abused, she was emotionally and verbally abused, and there was a lot of violence within the home. So for her growing up, so she almost did the same thing. She parented the same way, so she didn't realize that she was verbally abusing us as we were growing up. So thinking that I would never fall victim, and I still don't call myself a victim just because for me, it's not my term of preference. I call myself a survivor rather than a survivor because, again, I turned my pain into passion. I had to educate myself, and which is when I became a domestic violence advocate. I put myself into, the schools at Chicago and got certified to advocate for domestic violence. But I almost repeated the cycle of being an abuser myself, right?
Yeah.
And doing those toxic traits and talking very verbally abusive to my partner. When the second one triggered me and started to act like my first ex-husband. So it started at home from childhood, but then the first guy that I married, he was very controlling, very possessive, just a lot of domestic violence going on within that home. I left, had 2 kids, was single for many years, remarried, thinking I remarried someone who was totally different, who's not gonna be that way, but he was very controlling in different ways, right? So financial control, all of those other things. So there was a lot of red flags that I didn't realize because I was conditioned to being disrespected a lot within the home. You know, so many things were common and normalized, like being called out of my name, being, you know, just disrespectful things. Like every word that you can think of that you would say, if someone ever calls me that, I'm gonna know that this is not normal. So for that reason, I'm a voice. And then the last thing that really inspired me to be an advocate for domestic violence was my first cousin was killed in front of her kids. And at that point, I said, I need to be a voice. Like, I've always been very vocal, and I've never been shy from my experiences. My mother was very vocal, and she wasn't shy, so I'm very open with, you know, I love being transparent. However, when that happened within my generation, it was like, okay, now it's time to speak up and not just educate myself further, but educate the community, right? And do more awareness. And so I'm also the founder of Erica Quintero, Live Love Culture. I have my own clothing brand. I make custom clothing. I do plus size modeling because my second abuser was verbally abusive, and just started body shaming me a lot and just talking crap about how much weight I gained. And I'm like, you know what? If I stay this size, I better like you. You don't have to like me no more, but I'm gonna still own it. And so that's what I do. So I do modeling, acting. I'm a podcast show host, and now I'm a board member for Beautifully Scarred. So shout out to Beautifully Scarred. We are a domestic violence nonprofit, and we're barely getting started. So be looking out for us. And I would love to continue to meet people and work in this space.
Definitely. Okay. And
Your turn.
So yeah, I'm Krystle, guys. Can't see me, but I'm working with B.O.S.S Sistah Network. What it stands for is Bridging Opportunities, Sustaining Successful Sisters. It's a network in an ecosystem for women of color, entrepreneurs, students, leaders, and also working with adolescent youth to help with personal, professional development, and wellness and health activities. So we do this through programming, content creation, and podcasts. If you have any questions, look at B.O.S.S Sistah Network, following us on Instagram, LinkedIn, as well as Facebook. So yep, if you have any questions, reach out to us at bossistheNetwork@gmail.com. And we also have a website too, bossistheNetwork.org. All right.